Hey guys, and welcome to SCP Containment Breach. Well, not really. This is a demo for an SCP Containment Breach remaster of sorts. Ever since the shutdown of SCP Unity, I've been craving for an SCP game that captures the same feel of Containment Breach, but in a new engine. And if the screenshots for this game are anything to go by, it looks promising. Though, I won't get my hopes up. I first loaded up the SCP-173 scene, and when I spawned in, I couldn't move. I had no idea if this was a fault of the game or not, so I double-checked the settings to make sure all the keys were bound as should be. I figured not being able to move was meant to be, and 173 was supposed to get closer and closer for a suspenseful scene to show off their engine or something. The sound of the doors opening and closing made me double down on that idea. However, after about 2 minutes of nothing happening, I decided to move on. I decided this time to load up the normal sandbox and see what that was all about. But much to my surprise, I still couldn't move. I thought about maybe if I rebinded the keys, but felt that was silly, so I decided to just wait and see if it would let me move. Oh, how naive I was. Eventually I gave up and decided to try relaunching the game to see if that would fix things. What a surprise! It didn't f***ing work. So I exited again and decided to check the discussions to see if it was just me experiencing this. Thankfully, I was not the only one. Unthankfully, my dumb ass already thought of the solution and didn't try it beforehand. So, I tried again. Loading into the sandbox, I immediately began to rebind, being so desperate to play the goddamn game that I didn't even notice the default bindings. But here we are. Finally, I can take my first steps. And the frame rate feels like horse piss. But the game was still playable, so I pushed myself to continue, but not before turning down some graphical settings that I believed helped about as much as a leaky condom. Attempting to go upstairs, it was at this moment that I realized I couldn't sprint. I knew I saw a shift key as a binding, so I was confused why it wasn't working. Oh. Well, I guess I'm playing Minecraft now. Nah, f*** that shit. Okay, fix the crouch, but where's the sprint? Oh. What the fuck? After that horrendous keybind catastrophe, I was ready to continue, and finally see what this game could potentially have to offer. Coming out into the catwalk outside 173's chamber, I actually quite like their visual telling for why I can't go through that door. I mean, now knowing what I know, which you will see later, we could have probably just crouched under that. But I don't know, it's just a breath of fresh air from a basic locked door. After staring out into the abyss and rethinking if this would even be a good video, I continued my journey through what felt like a Roblox SCP map, but I was at least accompanied by some decent ambience. I started to wonder if I was trapped in a loop of the same desolate, featureless hallways. What would be a cruel prank by the developers, indeed. But then I finally found the T-Junction Hall. Turning the corner, I found what I assume would be a heavy checkpoint. But on the other side, I just found... yeah, this game is in super demo mode. I wondered if I should quit there, but I knew there was unfortunately still content to see. So I pressed on. If there wasn't a "thanks for playing" message behind that door, I was prepared to walk through more seemingly looping halls. But then I found SCP-173, and I was actually quite excited to see him. Until I realized he didn't even work. I do like the model though, and I like his scraping sounds. I really hope they capture a beautiful form of new terror with him in the same way SCP Unity did. After enough time to basically shove in the developers' faces that 173 isn't working, I decided to finally move on so I could end the video already. And I'm glad I did, because then I found this. Oh, yeah, and there's the painting too. Okay, real talk. Judging from the way it acts, I'm assuming this was supposed to be SCP-1074, but it acts more like SCP-099 with all the eyes. And the death text says SCP-1074, so, I'm not really sure what the devs were doing. Anyways, after what feels like the horror equivalent to being meme molested, I finally die. Oh, and respawning is bugged too. Coming to the conclusion that I've seen everything in the sandbox, I've decided to exit. Now that we can move, let's take a look at that SCP-173 scene. Spawning in, I quickly run left since that's where I heard the doors opening and closing last time. And sure enough, here he is. But he's of course still broken, no surprise there. But what is a surprise is that he actually managed to kill me. I figured it was because I touched him with my back turned, allowing his hitbox to kill me. But strangely, I wasn't able to recreate it, so I gave up. Moving on, I wanted to see what this test scene was all about, and it was not what I was expecting. Hey, look at all those reflections, and that lighting! Wow! Look at this, bubble effect. Ooh, ah. I soon left and loaded up the last test scene there was. This one had a bunch of doors. Okay, that was actually kinda satisfying. Of course, me being me, I wanted to see what would happen if I shut the door on myself. And I died. Just kidding, I started tap dancing at breakneck speeds, just like in the Indigo Park video, which still hasn't come out yet. If I had a nickel for every time I tap danced in a game, I'd have 2, which isn't a lot, but it's crazy that it happened twice. Well, I had to reload. Found some test items and picked them up, having now just realized I haven't even really gotten to see the inventory system. And, look at that FNAF fangame flashlight over here. Yeah, okay. Hey, I wonder what this button does. Did the developers just find this funny? I mean, I guess it's satisfying. Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot to see here either. I don't know what I expected from a test area showcase, and after getting soft-locked again, I decided I had finally seen all there is this demo had to offer. So what do I think? Well, I can definitely see what they are showing. This demo wasn't about what gameplay potential this game could have, and it was more focused on showing you what type of lighting SCP Containment Breach could have on a modern engine. I can definitely see this game shining bright with enough time to cook. Will it surpass Unity? Too early to tell. But once the game releases, if it's not abandoned, it could have a chance of doing so, I feel. And if there's one thing I have to say to the developers, it's this. Please add head bobbing similar, if not the same, to SCP Containment Breach. I can't stand when SCP games make their locomotion so smooth. Hell, I could make the importance of head bobbing in games, and especially in SCP Containment Breach, its own video. Anyways, have a good one, everybody.